Enhance your experience by becoming a supporting member. Gain access to unseen videos and video requests. 3-day free trial by visiting zionmembership.com. Chosen ones, empaths, these narcissists that are involved in your life immerse themselves so effectively in your world, they take over. They literally take over. And the things that were important to you at one point, your priorities, what you construct your life towards, slowly but surely changes, and it happens very subtly, right? Before you know it, you're in absolute servitude to the narcissist. You're constantly appeasing them. You're constantly doing things and trying to keep the peace. And they get you more or less in absolute servitude towards them, right? And you lose your own independence. You lose what your life was about. And, they subtly got into your world. And because you're so open, loving, caring, you let them in your world. But when they get in your world, they change it to where it's about them. And you don't realize this happened. People around you who have known you maybe longer than the narcissist involved in your life see a complete change in you. They see you, being groomed by this narcissist that's involved in your life. That's the way they'll view things. Now, they may or may not bring it to your attention, but this doesn't just happen in romantic relationships. This can happen in friendships, family member, colleagues, associates. All remains the same. The narcissist that's involved in your life slowly but surely grooms you and makes you orientate yourself in absolute servitude towards them, right? So, and, they keep putting more and more onto you for you to do. And, perhaps they love bombed you at the beginning, so you're still pursuing after that initial nice phase, or so-called nice phase, right? You're still pursuing after that, and you basically been brainwashed. It's crazy the way it happens, because it all starts with you letting your guard down, enough for them to be part of your life. And they effectively and strategically take over your own world. So no longer are the things that you prioritize. You change your whole lifestyle. You change your whole ways. And, they get you in servitude to them, right? So your priorities become them. Your priority becomes that whatever's happening in their world becomes what your existence is about, right? And they may isolate you from people that are close to you, people they deem as a threat. I made a video about that recently. They deem people that are around your circles as a threat, and they want you to themselves. So they may make problems with the individuals in question, or they may brainwash you against them, right? They may brainwash you against them. And you completely lose yourself. You just completely lose yourself. It's absolutely unreal the way the victim of narcissistic abuse loses themselves, right? And, this doesn't just have to be relationships, as I mentioned, right? This doesn't just have to be relationships, romantic relationships. This can be friends. This can be anyone. They take over your life. They take over your life. And initially, they acted supportive, they acted kind, they mirrored you, They broke down your walls. They broke down any boundaries that you had. You let them into your world. And before you know it, you're in servitude to them, living your life to appease the narcissist. Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. It'll take 2 seconds of your time. Thank you. And, you know, this is why, you know, victims of narcissistic abuse, there are victims of narcissistic abuse that struggle with suicidal thoughts. There are victims of narcissistic abuse that have taken their own lives. And one of the reasons, it's just the theory I have, I think that because they've literally, the narcissist that's involved in their life takes over their world so much, right? They lose themselves in the process so much. And this can happen over a span of decades, right? You know, maybe less, but I'm just saying it can happen over that period of time, that the individual completely loses themselves and gets, the narcissist becomes immersed in their world and takes over. So their priorities are the narcissist's priorities. So when the narcissist, for example, discards them or reverse discards them, right? The victim of narcissistic abuse is completely lost. They don't know where they are, right? They don't know where they're at. They don't know what they're living for, right? And this is when the negative forces, or however you want to call it, will put the thoughts in the mind of the victim of narcissistic abuse to take their own life, for example. Now, this isn't always the case. I'm just throwing it out there as a theory. And I think it's because that the victim of narcissistic abuse completely loses themselves. Like, it's not their fault, right? It's not their fault. They were manipulated. They were deceived, right? They were gaslit. They were really manipulated. And to where a complete takeovers happened. And over a period of time, you know, their priorities completely shifted. Their focus completely shifted, you know. Their whole lifestyle completely shifted, the victim of narcissistic abuse. So when they're faced with a reality about the narcissist that's involved in their life, and they're faced with the discard or the reverse discard, they're lost. They're literally lost, completely lost. And maybe they don't get as far as reaching out to hearing about a video or reading a book or anything like that. And some victims of narcissistic abuse, you know, try to take their own lives, attempt to take their own lives, or, you know, have suicidal thoughts. They don't see the world as a meaningful existence. They don't see their existence as meaningful anymore, because they was in this construct of appeasing the narcissist. They was getting, you know, they was desiring validation from the narcissist for what it is they're doing, being in complete servitude towards the narcissist, appeasing them. So when they no longer have anyone to, they're no longer appeasing the narcissist has discarded them or reverse discarded them, the world seems empty, right? And it's just because this narcissist that was involved in their lives completely took over their world, right? And maybe if they just got through to the next day, you know, maybe they wouldn't have, I can't say if, buts and maybes, but, you know, if they just got through the day, right? This is why if anyone, you know, it's a touchy subject, but if anyone is experiencing any suicidal thoughts, anything of that nature, you need to understand you've been through abuse, right? You've been through really bad abuse, but the days will get easier. Time doesn't heal, but through time you'll learn how to deal with it. You're on a video like this, and you've been on other videos alike, you've awakened to narcissistic abuse. You're a step further than many victims of narcissistic abuse. They don't even wake up to the fact they were dealing with a narcissist. You know, the narcissists, many of them are covert. You know, the victims of narcissistic abuse don't even wake up to the fact they were dealing with a narcissist, right? So you're a step further. You're waking up, or you have woken up, and you know you just need to focus on your healing, right? Attend to those wounds that the narcissist inflicted, because you've been through a whole heap load of abuse, you know, slight abuse, right? under the radar abuse, things that you don't realize, you know. They've even affected your self-esteem, the way you view yourself through the devaluation, for example. It's absolutely chaotic what a narcissist does to the victim of narcissistic abuse. And you just need to understand that this narcissist purposely set out on an endeavor to immerse themselves in your world, completely take it over, make your world revolve around them. And I should have probably said that earlier. I was trying to get it off the tip of my tongue, but you were basically revolving around them, right? That's what your existence consisted of, revolving around what they're doing, they basically completely took over your life, right? And it's really sick and twisted what they do, because they do it to good souls. They do it to nice, kind, genuine people. This is what they look for. And this is why when I hear in the narcissistic community that, you know, self-proclaimed narcissists saying things of the nature of, you know, there's nothing special about an empath. Narcissists don't just desire empaths. That's what they say, right? There's many self-proclaimed narcissists that claim this, right? But they wouldn't get anywhere. They wouldn't be able to take over another narcissist's life, you know, or another psychopath's life. They wouldn't be able to take it over and do the things that they do. The reason they're able to do this is not because of their manipulative nature. Realistically, it's because of the kind, good-hearted soul who they're manipulating, right? That's how it's so effective. Because the kind-hearted soul, the empath, the chosen one, doesn't see them yet as a problem. They don't see them as they're doing anything wrong. Everything's under the radar, especially with the covert narcissist. Everything's under the radar. They don't realize they're being abused. So they continue to be civil. They continue to be kind. They continue to be supportive. They believe they're in a constructed relationship that is harmonious. They don't see there being a problem. They may run into tiffs and slight arguments and things like that, but they don't really believe there's anything wrong with the relationship they're in. And that's the first problem. That's the sickness, right? Not seeing that this is not a natural relationship between two people of whatever kind, romantic, friendship, family member, colleague, or associate. You know, being involved with a narcissist, you know, and the narcissists that were involved in your life is a sick and twisted relationship. It's very sick. It's very one-sided, right? And a lot of you chosen ones and empaths have completely lost yourselves. You're rebuilding yourselves now. And that's why, you know, that's what's important. Rebuilding yourself after the pain that you went through. Rebuilding yourself, rebuilding your life. That's what you got to look forward to. You completely lost yourselves, right? It's crazy, but that's what happened, right? It's not crazy, that's the wrong word, but it's crazy how it happened, you know, because the narcissists that are involved in your life immerse themselves so well into your world effectively. They took it over, you know. They had you, basically your purpose consisted of them. Your world revolved around them, right? So if you've been through a discard or a reverse discard, you need to understand God set you free, the universe set you free, right? However you want to look at it, that's what occurred, right? You've been set free away from them. You do not need to be trauma bonded, right? Because that's what happens, right? The victim of narcissistic abuse is trauma bonded, right? They've been in the cycle of reward, abuse, and they're addicted to that, seeking that validation from the narcissist. So when the narcissist cuts them off or goes ghost or gives them a silent treatment, it can feel so traumatic to the victim of narcissistic abuse, right? It can feel so traumatic to them. But you need to understand that this was a deliberate attempt, a deliberate attack on your life, on your well-being, right? They strategically set out with a plan to infiltrate your life and try and take it over, to make your world about them, right? Because they like being the center of attention. right? And that's why maybe some of you went through the isolation of friends, the isolation of family, the isolation of romantic partner. Like you got separated from people that were good to you and true to you. You may have got separated from real, genuine people because of the narcissist that was involved in your life. They isolated you from set people in your circles, right? Because they looked to them and they deemed them as a threat, like I said before. Just work on your healing. That's the main crucial thing. Is now you're free from it, or you're at least contemplating being free, right? It's the main objective is to work on your healing, right? Build your life back together. Build your life back together now. Prioritize what's important to you. You may not know what's important to you yet. You may have some idea, but you may not hopefully know what your priorities are yet. But with time, through time, you'll learn how to deal with the pain. You'll begin to have your life back, the freedom, and you'll be over the hurt and the pain, right? Some of you, I read in the comment section, some of you have only been out of it a number of months or a year. Don't expect too much to happen in that short space of time. That's a short space of time, right? Even a year is still, for some people, they need a couple of years or even more, to fully recover and heal from the abuse they inflicted. I'm not trying to make it daunting for you now. I'm just trying to say don't run before you can walk, right? Don't rush, right? You've been and endured an experience that is very traumatic, right? So prioritize yourself above everything else. Treat yourself like a guest. Be kind to yourself. Treat yourself well. And understand that if you're feeling any absence, or you're feeling like there's a void in your life, for example, you need to understand that you were so occupied with tasks and things to do when you was involved with this narcissist in your life. You were so occupied with their world that naturally you will feel absence or a void afterwards, especially initially. You'll feel an absence or a void. But that's why it's up to you to fill that void and that absence with your purpose, with your meaning, with yourself, with your self-love, with your self-care, prioritizing your needs above, low vibrational toxic people, prioritizing what you need in life, right? Not being selfish, I'm not saying that, but just putting yourself first, being kind to yourself, treating yourself like a guest, and understand that this will fill the void. That you don't need to fill the void or the absence with another person too soon, Fill the void and the absence with your purpose, with your meaning. Naturally, this occurs. That's something you've got to be excited about. You're going to discover your purpose and your meaning to existence. Maybe it's not just the job that you do or the career that you do. You're going to find something else, maybe something that you haven't thought of before. This is what happens to the victims of narcissistic abuse. There's so many victims of narcissistic abuse that have gone on to do great things, gone on to write books, gone on to make music, gone on to do artwork, gone on to sing, gone on to do so many things with their time, right? Some have built YouTube channels, some have helped other people. There's a range of things, and it doesn't just have to be of those things. There's a myriad of things that you could get involved in, and you will get involved in the future when your purpose is revealed to you by God or the universe. Something will be revealed to you through the time. It may not happen overnight, but something will be revealed to you for you to do, and that will occupy the space and the void, right? And then you'll enhance your life and ascend and better yourself, right? And you'll be filling yourself with self-love and care during the process. And, you'll overcome the hurt and the pain and the trouble that you went through. You'll overcome it all and heal, right? That's the direction you're all heading for healing. Wherever you are on your journey, you're all heading towards healing, right? And eventually being healed enough, right? Yes, the scars will remain because you're a victim of abuse, but you'll heal enough and be past it, right? where you've actually bettered yourself from the experience you endured. So, and this narcissist that was involved in your life will be a thing of the past. You know, you may reflect on it from time to time, but you'll see how far you've come forward from the days when you were involved with this narcissist in your life. You'll see how far you've come forward, right? And there's, you know, there's brighter days ahead. So for those of you that are fresh out or still in pain and hurting, there's brighter days ahead. You just got to aim towards it and take it in your stride. So anyway, thank you for watching today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can find the link in the description box. If you'd like a one-to-one session with myself, you can also find the link in the description box. Currently, I've got a secondary channel, spiritual channel. Enhance your experience by becoming a supporting member. Gain access to unseen videos and video requests. 3-day free trial by visiting ZionMembership.com. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.